All right, Ronaldo. Here. Natasha. Adler. Here. Leanne. Yeah. Logan. David. Here. William. Here. Omar. Here. Guadalupe. Here. Blaze. Here. Katie. Desiree. Daniel. Here. Juan. Here. Sergio. Here. Nathan. What? Sydney. Here. Michelle. Here. Stephanie. Mariana.
Caleb, vote right. Caleb, vote right.
Matthew. Here. Hector. Here. Miguel. Here. Here. Damien. Here. Giovanni. Amora. Gustavo. Edgar. Arturo. Here. Clara. Randy. Austin. Here. Chad. Carlos. Here. Fabiola. Moctezuma. Jacob. Here. Here. All right, cool. We are mostly here. Not all here, but mostly here. Good, good. Like to see that. All right. Today's kind of an easy day. But if you didn't bring your paper bag, you're going to be missing some points because I remind you like a billion times if you noticed. Yeah. So, I'm like, geez,
like 5 times.
I started thinking about like you right before bed. I'm like, oh, I need to tell them. Like, can I
Can't afford paper.
remember your paper bag? In the morning, good morning. So that was sort of a test to see how much reminding it requires. Maybe there was like a bell curve. Like, if I do too much reminding, then you're like, no, I'm not going to do it just because you're annoying me. What? You actually got, so you have your paper bag, right?
I was supposed to.
And you went to the, wait, you're telling me, you went to the grocery store for the express purpose of my bag or just because?
Just because, and they asked me paper plastic.
And you said plastic, and you're like, oh, I had something to do.
Yeah, but I was throwing my money in that.
Jeez, it sucks.
Can't afford paper.
That's like all of like, yeah, interesting, okay. Well, I'm kind of afraid to even ask, actually. How many people do not have your paper bag today? Oh.
Wow. Hey.
Okay. So, no, I can't afford to lie. I go ask, hey, can I go? A paper bag is too much money.
Yeah.
That's nonsense. That's absolute nonsense. That's ridiculous. You ever go to a grocery store, they give you a little paper bag, you go ask them sometime. It's possible to give you over a week. I told you that since the calendar day on Monday. I told you that last week that we were going to the library and doing that, so I've been reminding you. Anyways, so you all will be taking your books home. And you'll be bringing them to school with a book cover. If you don't have a book cover, you're not allowed to leave it in my cabinet. So this is some class system going on here. Those of you who brought your covers, I really want to give you a high five right now. That would be a little awkward to run around. But I just know, boom, high fives to all of you who did that. You're going to be getting points for this activity today. If you want points for it, it's 50 points. Okay, so it's the same as a week of warm-ups. That's how important this was. If you want those points, you come in and you get to put it inside of the cabinet, and that's when you get your points. But there's certain requirements with it. So right now, I need you to have out a paper with your warm-ups on it. You've turned in your summer creative writing. This is your warm-ups that you're going to hold on to until Friday. So this is like your paper that you're going to be working with today. You're going to work with it tomorrow when we start our Socratic seminar, and then you'll be turning it into me Friday. So just know this is sort of an extended thing. Normally with warm-ups, I don't collect them daily. I collect them only weekly. But we've had kind of a weird week. On Monday, we started our routines and started our debate question. So if you have that debate question paper, that's where you can start it with, or if you just do some brand new, it doesn't matter either way. Yesterday we did our summer sort of creative writing, which was technically a warm-up, but it's really the whole period, because I was teaching you the creative writing day. It'll start normalizing as we get going with the school year, just a heads up. So today, your assignment, even if you don't have a paper bag, you can still get some points, okay, because there's still a requirement here. And if you don't have your paper bag to fit into your on your book, you can still at least draw the symbol and start sketching out what you want on your book. because at some point everyone should have a book cover so that they can actually put it in the classroom. I want to show you what it looks like before I even start with anything else. So this is my other English 10 class. Everybody brought their book in it. It's a smaller class, granted, but they still, each one of them had their stuff in there. They have their name on it, etc. That's what I want to see on your shelf. Your shelf would be right there. You got a nice big shelf for all of you people. But if you don't have one in there, I don't want to see your book in it. Okay? Last year, the reason why is because I was kind of loosey-goosey about this, and I let everyone just kind of put their stuff in, and people were like stealing each other's books, ruining each other's books, purposely hurting each other's books, and just starting to grab it out, and it was really just a mess. So we're not doing that this year. I want to be a little bit more organized. I want to take pride in what you guys have, the ownership. All that stuff costs money, not just to the school, but you eventually pay for it when you go buy stuff. Get some taxes. That goes around. So we want to make sure our stuff's nice. That's all. And in the process today, it's supposed to be an easy day because you're supposed to just be drawing and having fun. So if you don't have those things, you're sketching it out. Here's your assignment very quickly. I want you to try and project a little bit some of the different steps in making a paper bag cover. Okay. So you're walking through it. It's directions. So think about it. How would I go about doing that? Even if you've never made one before, I want you to think about, okay, what would I do first, second, third? I want you to describe it. This is me having you guys practice some type of descriptive writing, okay, projecting different steps. Okay, I know it's a little bit mundane, but I want to see how much attention to detail you can do. Life's about attention to detail. All right, go ahead and get started on that. Think about each step in making a book cover from a paper bag. Write down each step as if you are creating directions for a tutorial. Go. You have 3 minutes. Right. Number 1, what would you do? Be as specific as possible. Yeah, step 1, what would you do? Be as detailed as possible, please. Don't leave anything to assumption. Monday. Yeah. Sorry. Let's see how it goes. Keep writing. You have 2 minutes. Step by step, as if you were writing a manual or a tutorial. I see a lot of you are already going, I just said it. Put on the cover. Okay. Be specific. Step 1.
Simple enough. Just cut it and tape it on. See how
your tutorial, you do it.
I just title it warm-up.
Are you forgetting all the little things?
I just title it.
That's the lesson.
I just title it warm-up.
Yes. So this is put the dates in Monday's date and then Friday's date. Are they being succinct about it?
Oh yeah, I mean,
Paper bag, got it.
paper. Open the bag, put the book in, take it on.
Nice, I like that.
Easy, just easy.
So let's try that. I'm gonna try that right here. Paper bag. Tape it on.
Perfect.
That'll be good. That'll be good. That is a big book. Oh, okay. So I need to like measure stuff. Oh, I need to measure it. Okay. If only that was in my directions. All right. Make sure you have those in your directions. Add to that. You know you need to add to that. Don't give me that. Don't give me that. Careful. Let's see, when do we come back? Sorry. Time difference. 10 more seconds. 10 more seconds. Go quickly. Finish up your last step.
There you go. Now we're getting to the detail.
Get those details.
That's good.
Italia.
Yeah, read it down back here.
All right, make sure you have your ID card. You can leave your stuff here. We're going to head over to the library now, and then we'll implement some of your directions. I'm going to see them. So just leave out your papers, too, because you're going to be swapping with the neighbors, seeing if you can make sense of their directions. Going to stand by now. Let's walk over to the library. We're going to get you those textbooks. Many of you will be leaving them at home until you get your paper bags or something, pieces of paper, something. You can improvise.
Very much go to the little theater place.
Do you mind, where Miss Fink's classroom is? She's the one with all the hungry stuff right on the board. Can you ask if she has like a box of stuff?
Okay. Wait, do we bring out paper?
Come on out. Library. 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 Could you?
Yeah.
Like half the people?
Yeah. No, maybe not you, but.
So I wouldn't be in that half, huh?
I just need to write in there.
If I were to hold up my hand, could you hit it?
Yeah, you
Right here? Right here? You hit it?
do that.
Did you hit that?
No, I don't want to my hands straight.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not good. No one wants to see that. All right, guys. All right, what I need you guys to do, and I'll repeat it when other people come in, is I need you to swap papers with your directions with a teammate right now. Just get it over. Look it over. If you have your paper bag, you can see if it would work out what they say. If they're missing directions, you need to add those directions at the bottom to say these are the directions you missed, right? And then you got to write your name on it if you want points for today's warm up.
Wait, this is Morris.
Yeah. Yeah, you can start putting it on if you want. Somebody's doing it yet. All right. So here's an example of somebody's directions. Shh. Again, this isn't good or bad. It's just, hey, sometimes we forget some of the details, and that's why we follow what? We follow directions. If you can write directions, you can follow directions. Kind of vice versa too. So if you're following directions, you're probably thinking through each step. So some of these will be better than others, and some of them will need some improvements, right? So this one says, number 1, cut the bag out so it becomes a rectangle. Okay, number 2, lay the book on the paper rectangle. Number 3, fold the sides over the hardcover on the book. And number 4, tape the paper on. Okay, does that sound like pretty good directions?
Yeah.
Okay, what kinds of things might be missing from that we can predict? That might be issues for me to think about. Okay, so maybe the type of paper. Good. Put +2 on your warm-up. Yes? The size might be a big one, isn't it? So I might need to know like what the size is. Cut the bag out so it becomes a rectangle. Does that tell me anything about size? So let me cut the paper bag out. I'm going to cut a really tiny... Got my scissors there?
Yeah.
Paper rectangle here. Boom. Okay, I got my paper rectangle. All right, that's number 1. Number 2, put it on my book. All right, I got to tape that on my book here. Sweet. Got it. All right. Again, I'm not making fun of any one person. This is just like showing you what could happen, what could go wrong. Right? Yay.
That looks about right.
That did it. I can put a little symbol there in my name. Actually, I've had people do that when I said put on book covers. They'll literally like just tape a piece of paper on it, just all over the side. Totally destroy it. Like totally destroy the book with like duct tape and stuff. All right, so don't do that. So your directions might be similar to that. If they are, you need to add the steps that are missing. In this case, the missing steps, size. Okay, so size is important. So I got to measure what length do you think I need to have on the book? Again, we're just making predictions before we look at the directions. What length do you think we're trying to find on the paper bag? What part of the book are we trying to measure? Very good. Put +3 on your paper. It's the first one at least is this one right here. Now the second one obviously will be the width of the book, obviously, but it's not this width, right? It's the width of the book covers themselves. You would start with the length of the book itself. So that's what you would want to write down. So modify the directions. Okay, keep going with it. I'll give you about 2 minutes, and then we'll watch a tutorial on it and see how they are different. Now, somebody might have different directions than the ones that we're about to watch. If that's the case, could they both be right? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. So add some directions to it that you think are missing if you were to try and visualize in your head, project what the cover was supposed to do. Some of you, I can hear the crinkling of paper. You're probably just wanting to get that book cover on there just now. Try to restrain yourself unless you're trying to look to see if it'll work their directions. Get their directions right first. Take 2-3 minutes for that. Get their directions right first. You need directions in front of you. Directions. Fix their directions. If you need to use your bag to kind of help you think about or predict whether the directions work, do that. But get good directions first.
I don't have a
You have directions in front of you.
What is that?
Yeah, more.
So there's at least one place in there. Right here. I want to taping inside. Oh, you agree? One thing that we're trying to prevent is damage to the steps. So if you tape the inside cover, you might want to change that. But otherwise, that was perfect. So yeah, add the missing steps. Make it better for them.
Getting there, but it's like a guy with a tiny box.
Yeah, add those steps. Gotta expand on that a little bit.
Oh, that's what it is.
That's a good That's pretty good. It's like a good description of the folds and the actions that you do.
Okay. What about like
Anything to do with the size of the
yeah. Oh, that's good.
Where do you keep the Okay. Yeah. The corners of the book or of the cover?
This is just a perfect explanation. You know what we're
That's pretty good. Actions. I know this is simple. I know this is like, why are, I know how to do this. A lot of times we know how to do something, we don't know how to write about it or follow the directions about it. Some of you, I noticed, did numbering. Other people did more of a story. First you do this, then you do that. So there's different ways to tell the story of how to do a book cover, right? There's even videos that you can do, that sort of thing. But following directions doesn't just have something to do with class, but it's really kind of your whole life. Careers, anyone doing construction, following the directions or else you're going to have major problems. Example, I'm thinking of this is what was making me think about it. You guys need to know how to do directions. I had my house that I recently purchased renovated. Before I even got it, it was people had done it because there's some vandalism to it. And they did all these upgrades. It was really nice. Except they did all the upgrades really bad. They weren't following the directions, whoever was doing it. So for instance, I put all my clothes up on the clothing shelf on there. It's got some nice shelves there. And about 30 minutes later, so what do I hear? This total crash. Everything's destroyed inside there because they forgot to put, does anyone know how to, when you put something into drywall, where do you go into if you have a large, there's wood behind the drywall. What do we call those? Does anyone know? How's construction people here? Come studs. Studs, right? So you got some studs behind the drywall. You're supposed to put them in there. So that's an example. The tile kind of is all routed wrong, so you can feel this like movement.
I'll do it for you. I'll regrout it.
You do it for me?
$50, I'll regrout it.
Wow. So that's cool. But before I let you do that, what might I ask you to show me? How would I determine whether he's good? If he's like, I'll give you $50 to be able to show you the Mexican. That's fine. That might actually be helpful. Like, yeah, because your dad might know how to do a lot of stuff. But beyond that, it's not just your dad, because I'm not employing him, I'm employing you, right? And if you don't, and I know some stuff about construction, so if I'm going to ask you questions, well, how would you do that? You're going to need to do what? No, because it's right there in front of you. I was like, I'm asking you to regrout my tile or something like that. And I say, well, how would you go about doing it? Okay, it's not about just doing it. It's also about what? Steps and explaining it and advertising or persuading yourself. Well, here's how I would do it. You know how grout is supposed to be level? Well, first I got to put down an underfloor, like a floor that goes underneath the tile so that it's not all wobbly when the grout dries. So that's step one, right? I put down something underneath it. I put down tile pads underneath that so that it doesn't feel like you're stepping on some glass, but on something that has like some give and it feels nice under your feet. There's those steps. So that I'm just saying for people who aren't necessarily wanting to become doctors or whatever, you'll need to learn how to do directions as well. So something that's stupid and silly as in book covers does have a little bit more application than what you'd otherwise expect. Okay, so now for the silly part, if you didn't bring your bag, all you're doing now, you can get out your phone. Make sure no one's over there to like Get out your phone if you want to look at some pictures, some stencils in particular. If you want to do it just on your lined paper and make a stencil that would be, or look at something and draw it if you're a good artist. If you want to draw something that you're proud of that you want to put on your book cover. You can also improvise. Do you have paper right now? Do you have paper on you? It doesn't have to be a paper bag. Do you have any paper on you? Yes? Could you make a book cover, at least just superficially, until you get a paper bag and get your 50 points today? Yes? Why start out on the wrong foot? This is an easy assignment. It was supposed to be a silly day, and instead some of you aren't going to be getting some good points because you're missing out. So maybe start figuring out how to improvise. You didn't get your materials. The grout didn't come in on time for your tile job. What are you going to do to improvise? The same thing goes. You didn't have your paper bag. Maybe I got some lined paper. I can tape them together, figure it out. Okay, I got some scissors, and I'm going to bring around tape for those who are ready for that. But it's only limited to those who are serious about what they're doing. Creating stencils, creating a surface to put on your covers, or those of you who actually have the book, the paper bags, you're going to be watching this video real quick on the video steps to making a bag, seeing how your steps relate to the ones that you wrote down. So you're going to walk through this real quick and see each one of these as they go.
If your paper bag has handles, carefully remove them by tearing them out from the front and the back of the bag. Next, find the side of the bag where the paper is glued together in the middle, and then very carefully tear the bag apart. Now, pop open the entire bag, and then using a pair of scissors, cut out the bottom of the bag by cutting along and around all the edges. For the final edge, unfold the bag and flatten it. Then make your last cut and remove the bottom flap.
Alright, so I'll stop there. Center. There's a center crease. That gets removed slowly. You're basically opening the bag up so just the sides are there, and then you cut off the bottom. So we have some scissors. I'm sorry, you said that you've gotten scissors.
Yeah, they're in the
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Would you mind passing out one pair of scissors per table, please? One pair per scissors. Anyone not have a paper bag that we really absolutely want?
Oh my god.
Oh, I don't have a lot left. This is gifts to people that I see working.
I'm trying to make it out of paper.
I appreciate your guys' ingenuity, though. Basically, you're going to be cutting the bottom out from underneath it. So I'm going to restart the video for those of you who might need to do it one more time. Some of you just got your materials.
Today we will make a paper bag book cover. You will need a bag, scissors, a pen, tape, and a book. First, if your paper bag has handles, carefully remove them by tearing them out from the front and the back of the bag. Next, find the side of the bag where the paper is glued together in the middle, and then very carefully tear the bag apart. Now, pop open the entire bag, and then using a pair of scissors, cut out the bottom of the bag by cutting along and around all the edges.
Cutting the
For
bottom
the
of the bag
final
is
edge,
sort of your biggest step.
unfold the bag and flatten it. Then make your last cut and remove the bottom flap.
Okay, we got that first step again. What are you doing, these guys? Hurry up! Gotta go faster. You're not gonna have time to finish. You're gonna lose the points.
Now,
Next step.
with the printed side of the bag on top, place your book in the center of the bag. Then fold the bag along the top and the bottom edges of the book. You may want to use a pen to mark where the fold lines are supposed to be.
There's your step 2. Measure. After you cut it out so it's all flat, measure the size of the book. Yeah. Right now, you have to do all the pieces of paper. You're not taping it to the book. No, don't tape it to the book. Tape it to the book. You tape it to the corner. Don't do the book. So a big warning, a caveat if you're using tape. I haven't gotten to that step yet. Some of you are getting ahead. If you are starting to tape, you do not tape it to the what? Don't tape it to the book. There are other ways to do it. He's going to walk through it. Right now you're measuring the top and the bottom and folding it so that it's the right size. Folding the top and the bottom so it's the right
Once
size.
you have
There you
made
go.
the initial folds, and using these fold lines to guide you, fold the flaps completely down. Now, with the book on the paper bag,
Really, you shouldn't use any more than like 2 pieces, actually 4 pieces of tape total if you have a paper bag. If you're doing something different, no comment, right? You're not dealing with people who don't have their materials. You're on your own. Make it nice, though. I only want nice ones in there. Wait. We have the backside.
The next step
You'll be taking those back up.
are
Just the bottom. You're just cutting the bottom out.
outlining.
The next step is to fold it on the top and the bottom.
You're way on. You're still putting at the bottom.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I kind of wanted people to like practice corrections. If you want to just take that on too. You don't have to do it in class if you don't have anything.
Uh-oh.
Hey, it looks pretty good. Take it to the middle.
Uh-oh.
That's gonna be Bob. Well, if you get it off without ripping, then you're good.
Because I don't want to take her.
Do not tape it to the book. Tape it only to paper. You should be able to create sleeves. I'm going to do the next step now. So be listening, and you have to keep it in your head. Okay, you got to keep directions in your
bring
head.
one side of the bag to the other, lining the edges up evenly. Next, fold the flap that hangs over the book into the inside of the book cover. If the flap is the correct length, you are done. If not, cut it shorter by using scissors. When you are finished, flip the book over to the other side. Just as before, fold the flap that hangs over the book into the inside of the book cover. You are now about halfway done with the process.
So it looks like it's done, but it's not, because you have 2 more steps. All you would be doing at that point is after you've folded it to the right length, each side is folded to the right length of the spine of the book. In the center, you bring one flap up inside of the front cover. Get that length as it closes. And then the same with the back cover. The front cover, back cover get folded. Those are going to become pockets. And then this is the kind of the tricky step, is to actually get some pockets in there. Yeah, just make sure you don't tape the book. So you can tape those corners. Perfect. That's exactly what you do.
And we write our name.
Yeah, I'll show you where you write your name.
Next, open the cover of the book and unfold the flap of the paper bag, and then very carefully tuck the book cover into the top and the bottom flaps of the bag. Then slide the bag all the way into the book cover. When you are finished, flip the book over to the other side and repeat the last step and very carefully tuck the book cover into the top and the bottom flaps of the bag. Again, slide the bag all the way into the book cover. You may want to make sure that the book cover fits snugly into the flaps. Now,
Okay. Once you have it the right length, because you folded the 2 sides over, you fold the front cover over, the back cover over, and it becomes a pocket. Do not tape the book. Do not tape the book. Should be able to just tape the pockets.
Hey, as
So
a
yours is
take
gonna,
that?
you're going to need to. Right, so I would cut that part off back there. Yeah.
He has tape. He has tape on. All right, a couple minutes. All right. That's all right. Can I cut it or can you cut it? Yeah, if you need to cut it if it's too long. Yes. All right, at this time, I need everyone to stop. There's only a few minutes left of class. How many of you got your books finished? Okay, those are the people that I give money to for my job, right? My construction job. You follow directions. Those of you who are still working on it, no worries. What I need you to do now is take your materials. You can put it inside your textbook. Your materials inside your textbook. Okay? Have it so that you can identify it quickly. We're going to stack them up nicely by table. Back inside of here. So even if you're not done, you can still put them in. This is the only day I'll let you keep them here if you have materials in it. If you're planning, if you didn't do anything today, I want you to take it home, get some stuff, and bring it back. So go ahead to this table back here, get some stuff, put it just right here, put your materials inside if you're not finished. Okay? I want them here because we're going to finish them tomorrow before Socratic seminar. If you want to take them home with your materials, you can do that as well. Yeah, that's make sure to put your name on it.